The story takes place in outer space, where a team of explorers is looking for clues about an old mission. They find a strange underground place that looks like a tomb. Curious, they start studying it, hoping to learn about the aliens who used to live there. Two crew members, Dean and Ricky, collect samples and look around. Dean finds weird symbols on the walls but doesn't understand them. As he moves deeper inside, his radio stops working. He tries to call Ricky, but suddenly, a bright light rushes toward him and covers him completely. Back at their base, Ricky is found unconscious and taken to the medical room, but Dean is missing. Holly, one of the leaders, asks Gary why their radios aren't working, but he thinks something is blocking the signals. Meanwhile, the doctor is more interested in studying glowing crystals than helping. The team goes back to look for Dean, and soon they find him, but he's barely alive. During a meeting, Mitch says the strange symbols might mean the aliens believed in twin gods. He wants to keep exploring, but Holly is worried about safety and decides to stop investigating the weird energy. At the same time, two crew members, Mark and Sandy, are sent to check out a problem in the lab. Instead of working, they start flirting, not realizing danger is close by. The glowing crystals suddenly send out a wave of energy, making Ricky's body heat up. He gets confused and angry, thinking he must find Dean no matter what. He attacks the crew and runs away into the tunnels. The team chases Ricky, but they split up, which helps him escape. He jumps onto a small transport cart and drives off slowly. Holly tries to catch up, but can't. Ricky hides in a cave, and security cameras keep an eye on him. While wandering, he finds Gail and they struggle. She gets stuck, and with the door open, freezing air rushes in. The team tries to save her, telling her to fix her oxygen, but she can't do it in time. Sadly, she freezes while the others watch helplessly. Back at the base, Ricky goes wild, throwing things and scaring the crew. Kate stops him by shooting him with a dart gun. The doctor checks him and says he has crystal paranoia, which happens to people in space research stations. Even though it's dangerous, they decide to take more crystal samples. After saying goodbye to their lost teammate in a space funeral, they continue their mission. Mitch believes something is feeding on the crystal's energy and convinces the team to check it out. But if they go too far, their radios won't work. Sandy ignores a warning and wanders off alone. Something dark follows her, and when she meets Mitch again, he is suddenly attacked. Sandy blacks out and wakes up tied to an examination table, seeing strange things. She thinks the doctor is doing tests on her, but in reality, a mysterious creature is putting something inside her. Later, Sandy wakes up in a medical room, feeling weak and confused. The crew gives her medicine and lets her rest. When she wakes up again, she feels sick and thirsty. They notice a strange wound on her arm. The doctor checks her and finds something shocking. Sandy is 2 months pregnant, even though she was getting shots to stop pregnancy. Before the team can think about what's happening, a big earthquake shakes the ground and the tomb collapses. Their mission is now a complete disaster. As they wait for rescue, the crew tries to stay busy, but Sandy starts acting strange. She becomes obsessed with the glowing green crystals, feeling like they are calling to her. After spending some time near the glowing crystals, Sandy starts feeling strange. She heads to the restroom, but the moment she looks in the mirror, a sudden flash of bright light surrounds her. Her body starts shaking uncontrollably, and she gasps in pain, gripping the sink to steady herself. Meanwhile, she does something unusual, something she instantly regrets. Just then, Holly walks in and sees what's happening. Her face fills with horror as she takes in the disturbing scene. Sandy, furious at being watched, shoves Holly out of the room, slamming the door behind her. The rest of the crew is confused. Sandy is acting more aggressive, and no one understands why. Then, an announcement echoes through the base, telling everyone to lock their doors and not let anyone inside. But it doesn't say who the danger is. Holly, still shaken for what she saw, quickly calls Mark and tells him to find someone named Sharon. But the question remains, who is Sharon and why is she important? While this is happening, Sandy notices something terrifying. Her stomach has grown much larger in just a short time. Her body is changing fast, and she doesn't know why. Meanwhile, Mark is determined to find Sharon. He pounds on her door, demanding she open up. She refuses at first, but when Holly confirms it's an emergency, she finally lets him in. Holly then tells the crew to quickly gather food from the cafeteria and meet at the control bridge. Before heading there, Sandy sneaks into the medical freezer, revealing a shocking secret. She has been eating human remains to survive. Once she's full, she moves through the halls silently, turning off security cameras. so no one can track her. The rest of the crew starts to panic. They don't understand what's happening, but then they realize something even worse. Kate is missing. Meanwhile, Kate, who had been knocked out earlier, wakes up alone. She doesn't know that danger is right around the corner. Suddenly, Sandy appears and attacks her. Kate reacts quickly and fights back, hitting Sandy hard. The noise of their struggle brings the rest of the crew, and Gary jumps in to help. But something is wrong. Sandy is incredibly strong, much stronger than any of them expected. She throws Gary aside like he weighs nothing. While everyone is distracted, Sandy sneaks away and begins planting explosives all around the base. Without warning, a series of loud booms shake the entire outpost. Explosions erupt in different areas, sending debris flying and causing chaos. The crew is thrown into a panic. Holly tries to stop Sandy using a burn gun, hoping the doctor can sedate her afterward, but she misses her shot, and instead, she hits the doctor by mistake. Now weak and vulnerable, the doctor becomes an easy target for Sandy, who strikes him down instantly. Holly, realizing she is next, desperately calls for help, but instead of coming to her rescue, Sharon runs away, too afraid to fight. She doesn't even warn the others about what's happening. Now, Sandy is completely transformed. Her mind and body have changed, and she is no longer the person they once knew. She uses the intercom to send a chilling message to survivors, taunting them. She tells them they can't escape, and that they should just surrender. The crew knows they are trapped, but they refuse to give up. Gary and Kate go looking for supplies, but instead find something horrifying: Holly's lifeless body. Kate lets out a terrified scream. As they continue searching, Sandy finds them. Gary manages to land a hit on her and feels confident, but the fight is far from over. They get separated, and Kate hides, clutching a jumpsuit as she tries to stay silent. But Sandy is hunting her. Just when it seems like Sandy has her cornered, Gary causes a distraction, giving Kate the chance to escape. He then fights Sandy with a pair of hedge clippers, forcing her to back off. Thinking he's finally safe, Gary stops to catch his breath in an open space. But he makes a terrible mistake. He underestimates Sandy. Now fully adapted to her monstrous new form, she moves with incredible speed. Before Gary can react, she shoots him with a bolt gun, impaling him. He gasps in pain and begs for mercy, but Sandy just watches coldly as he dies. Then, she feeds on his body to keep herself strong. Mark has reached his breaking point. He has lost too many teammates, and his rage takes over. He rushes through the base, planting explosives everywhere, determined to destroy Sandy once and for all. Meanwhile, Sandy's transformation is almost complete. She is in unbearable pain, screaming as her body goes through its final changes. She removes her pants and writhes on the floor, then lets out a final piercing scream as she gives birth. Unlike the other violent moments in the film, this scene is strange and almost beautiful in a disturbing way. When Mark arrives, he is shocked to see not one, but two newborn creatures. With everything falling apart, Sandy steals Mark's radio and gathers the scattered explosives. She sets them around the control room, planning to break through the last remaining barriers. As she sets off more blasts, Mark seizes his chance. He sneaks away and takes the newborns. He gives them to Sharon, even though she has done little to help, and gets ready for one final showdown with Sandy. But Mark doesn't wait for her to come to him. Instead, he charges down the hallway to face her head-on. He attacks with everything he has, but nothing seems to hurt her. Then, Sandy does something unexpected. She bites him hard below the knee, making him collapse in pain. Meanwhile, Kate makes a terrible mistake. In her panic, she drops her weapon and runs straight into the explosion shockwave. Mark, despite his injuries, refuses to give up. He comes up with a last-ditch plan. He uses a wire harness to trap Sandy, choking her until she finally collapses. Wounded and exhausted, he stumbles back to check on Sharon and the babies. But when he arrives, he is met with a horrifying sight. Sharon is already dead. Before he can react, something attacks him. In the final moments of the film, a new crew arrives on a mission to investigate the missing team. They are wearing protective helmets as they carefully explore the ruins of the outpost. They see the destruction, the bodies, and the chaos left behind. But just as they are about to leave, something becomes clear. Two small creatures have managed to sneak onto their ship. The nightmare isn't over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.